Hello everyone and welcome back to our series Unreal Creations in partnership with Epic Games to show off some unique UEFN experiences and islands. Jake is in Iowa this week. Who knows what he's doing in Iowa, but no worries, he is in the interview with me, so stay tuned. This island is called the Backrooms, built by a single 19-year-old named Will, and if you're familiar with the concept of the Backrooms, then you're probably going to be familiar with the experience. It's really an off-putting deja vu and sometimes terrifying experience that Will has created, where you're going through these crazy looking hallways and crazy looking rooms and you just feel sort of lost the entire time. I really encourage you guys to tune into this episode. I thought Will was awesome. Obviously, I'm going to be partial because I was in this interview, but it's really crazy to think how this 19-year-old has just dedicated himself to making a UEFN experience, and now he has this insane portfolio and insane list of skills that he can apply moving forward. Check it out.
I started probably 5-6 years ago back in middle school, probably like 8th grade. I started Photoshop. Then I got into 3D graphic design, kind of like 3D modeling back when Fortnite art was like a big thing, like people were wanting thumbnails and whatnot. And then I was like, I want to do more. I want to learn how to model things on my own and animate things on my own. So I started getting into 3D animation and 3D rendering, and then just wound up finding myself doing development on Unreal and Unity, which then kind of got me here.
And so how old are you?
Oh, I'm 19.
19. We've been talking to a lot of young people who have just like discovered Fortnite, kind of their first entry point into making games. Does the same go for you?
Yeah, I guess, yeah, pretty much. I've just kind of been developing stuff prior to UEFN and Fortnite.
Is this your first like official map / game, or was there something before that I've missed? I'm maybe a little late to the party.
No, this is pretty much the first one. Escape the Backrooms is I had a project a while back just called the Backrooms, and it was one of the first maps. It was probably the first 20 maps released on UEFN, and I popped up a simple map and threw it out there and like had 5,000 people playing it on the day of the release, and then it finally hit like 3 million plays, I think, like for a month after.
Gotcha. And so me and Hunter have been going back and forth about the concept of the Backrooms, because I think we've seen it elsewhere, right, Hunter?
I was kind of trying to explain what the Backrooms, and because Backrooms is like a general idea, right? And so I had to like give the spiel a little bit to Jake, but if you have a way of explaining it, I'm sure it'd come great from you.
My best way of explaining it, maybe just watching some videos, because all my stuff is pretty much inspired by Kane Pixel and his kind of ideas on the Backrooms. To me, it's just liminal. It's a liminal space, like something you see that when you look at it, you get this sense of feeling like you've been there, you've seen it before, but then you have the addition of like the creepypasta kind of like entities, like something that you run from, something that scares the player. It's just that overwhelming feeling of knowing that you've been there before, but you haven't been there before.
That's crazy. Why on earth did you decide to make like an island off of it? Like, what was the connection of like you learned about it and then at some point you made the conscious decision to be like, all right, I'm making a Fortnite map about this. Like tie those together for us.
I played like Roblox. I played the Apeirophobia, but pretty much it's just a game based on the Backrooms. And I learned about the Backrooms from Kane Pixel like 3 years ago when he released his first ever 3D render video or whatever he had going on. I played the Roblox version a few times with my buddies and we finally finished it. And I think a few months after that, UEFN came out and was like, man, wouldn't it just be so fun to bring that into like Unreal Engine? Like I feel like that would be just something really fun to do. That's what I did. That's what I kind of started working on recently.
And so is it you by yourself, just solo deving this?
Yeah, it's pretty much just me. I do the art, I do the audio, like the sound effects and whatnot. I go into a recording studio at home and do it. I do the 3D rendering, the 3D animations. I do the graphic design. The only things I really don't do is probably the AI system. That's the only thing I'm not working on, but Poulter's helping me out with that. That's my buddy who's currently doing the flashlight and AI system for me.
Again, I know that there's more to come, but in its current state, what would you say makes this map unique, or what would be like one of your favorite parts of it?
I would say the art style and just the overall, like just the feeling of being in the map, having the lights buzzing in your ears and trying to figure out where to go, and then like the little knocking sounds that you hear onto the like left of your ear, or the people yelling down the hallway, or stuff like that. Like just those little spooky things that you don't see, but you hear. It's all about audio. It's all about kind of that representation of you making up what's behind those sounds.
What would you say your goal for this island specifically is as far as like the player experience goes? Like you have someone who loads into it. What is your goal for that person?
God, I just want to terrify everybody that joins the map. I want to scare everyone.
Oh my God!
Run.
Fair.
I want people to go in and click off the game instantly.
Okay, so do you think that's the progression then? Like, what is your next map? Is the future of your maps that you're making, the islands? Are you just gonna get progressively scarier and scarier?
I kind of work on a variety. I work on party games, stuff that you can play with your friends. But I do love horror, so it's just like that's my main focus recently.
What would you say throughout this whole process? It sounds like you've had a lot of fun and explored and experimented a lot of different things. What would you say has been like one of the more difficult things to adjust to, or maybe to actually get working throughout the development process?
Oh, map design, probably. I've never done map design. I've never done level design before. My own level design is so hard, very difficult. I sit here maybe like hours a day, 4 to 5, 6 hours a day, sitting in a chair, just working on level design and creating a blueprint in Photoshop, figuring out what I want, and then kind of just putting it out on a map. So that's probably the hardest part recently.
The last one on my side is we've been asking a lot of people because we spoke to a lot of devs, a wide array. Would love to know from your end throughout using UEFN, maybe some of the upsides of like what was maybe unexpectedly like easy to use, or on the flip side, what's been kind of more difficult to adjust to.
Probably just the usability. It's very it's easy. Maybe not so much for newcomers, but just going in and grabbing a device off of Fortnite basic predetermined tools, they're really easy to use. They have a really good description on how to use them, and there's a lot of tutorials out there. It's just a simple system. The biggest issues I've had recently is just trying to make sure that everything will work with, what is it? I don't know how to pronounce it, but the IARC or the IARC rules they have right now. That's gonna be so hard because there's a lot of things I want to do, but there's a lot of limitations that are being put onto me that I kind of have to through.
So with that, then you just said that you were doing all the audio engineering for this and the audio design. And so if you're sitting in a studio, can you give us like maybe give us an example of some of these sounds that you're making and like how are you making them and doing the sound design? That means like you must be like yelling off in the distance, right? To get that sound?
Yeah, I just go in the back of my room. I kind of just record stuff like we have a part of the map where you're in a pool room. And so I went in and I just got a dish, like a normal dish, got some water, and I started swigging it around a little bit and like kind of pouring water into it to get certain sounds. And I have a flashlight that I just click the button of to get flashlight sounds. The other day I brought the mic down to the garage and I turned on the generator and I just started messing around with the generator trying to get some sounds for it. So
that's cool. So you're pretty much a Foley artist at this point as well.
Pretty much. Yeah.
I love that.
Branching off of that, you also said you've also been doing all the animation, like you're doing everything you said except the AI. So on the animation side, like, are you learning a ton about like art? And you said you love the art direction of this project. And so like, what is it? What does the work on that end look like?
I think right now I'm working on creating a cutscene. 3 of my buddies are gonna be voice acting the players, then I'm gonna be voice acting one. And it's pretty much just a starting cutscene of 4 people together going and looking through an abandoned building. Just going to be a little short scene that people will start out as at the start of the map, pretty much.
I mean, you're 19 right now, and I've just been writing random things down. Like, obviously, you've programmed. You're basically a Foley artist. You're doing animations. You're about to be doing voice acting for, like a cutscene, and like you're learning about AI and all this stuff. And you're 19. You're out of high school, and you have an incredible resume at this point where you can just send your Fortnite map basically to an employer and be like, dude, look at, I've done all of this stuff. Do you feel like when you think about the future, like, is that kind of where you're going? Like, you're building a portfolio for yourself to show people?
I guess I've just been kind of doing things that I enjoy, and it just so happens to be creating a sort of a profile, like a portfolio for me that I can send out.
That's cool. Do you feel like you I mean, at this point, I feel like I know the answer, but like, a lot of people would go to school for those individual things. Like, would you encourage people like, hey, go to school, or maybe go down the route that you've been going, which I feel like is just learning it?
Yeah, I'm self-taught. I'll find myself going on YouTube and watching tutorials here and then, but most of the time I'm just kind of doing it on my own. But I think the great thing about kind of development is if you have a group of friends, you can kind of bounce things off of one another. You're not kind of stuck at a rut. If somebody asked me if they should go to school or something I think whatever way works best for you, really. It's just up to you.
You said you've been contacted by people to work on like maps and islands for them as well. What has that been like, as far as like, do you have like brands coming to you of like, hey, we want to build you know, an island experience, or are there big studios that are coming to you and talking, and how has that kind of experience been for you?
With the big giant like release that they had of UEFN, I think a few months later, people were like, you know what, let's start making little UEFN development groups. And I was lucky to be hit up by Fixated Studios, and they're working on some big stuff that I can't really just like talk about right now. But I was able to work on one of their maps recently that I don't think they're releasing yet, but it's going to be pretty soon that they're going to be releasing it. And it was a fun experience. It wasn't bad. I learned a lot. I got to talk to a bunch of developers because I was working on a team, and I got to kind of learn a lot from that. So, I mean, the experience was good there.
Very cool. I appreciate the
Those are
time.
very well worded, dude.
Hey, thank you.
I might be biased here, guys, but I think that was one of my favorite episodes so far. If you're a creator who wants to show off their UEFN island or experience, then please slide into our DMs anytime you want. And even if you're not a creator, but you just want to give us some tips on what you want to see in the future or ones that you like, then please, again, slide into our DMs and let us know. Anyways, guys, enjoy the holidays if you celebrate Thanksgiving. But until next time, we'll see you later.